What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the 19th episode of The Purple Couch. I'm your host, Thabile TTO. And on this episode, we celebrate Freedom Day. As you know, that in 1994, the 27th of April, South Africa had its first democratic elections. And that moment is one of South Africa's greatest, and definitely one moment that definitely warms your heart. Remember that we are live across every social media platform. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is at loveLifeNGO, hashtag The Purple Couch. A big shout out to our sponsors who are making this all possible: the National Department of Health and, of course, the Department of Sports, Arts, and Culture. Enough of the chit chat. Welcome to The Purple Couch. And we're back and taking over. This is still The Purple Couch with me, Thabile TTO, and it's time for us to get into Spot the Trend, which is some of the trending topics that were happening all across the month. Our first hashtag is, of course, hashtag adults get sad with age. According to some people, the older you get, the more sad and depressed you become. Have you seen this happening in your life? Maybe you were 16 and now you're 17 and you've seen that, life has changed and become more sad. Let me know in your comments and let me know if you agree with this hashtag. Our second Spot the Trend is, of course, Celeb City, which has the country in a frenzy. So many tweets, so much love. Nak Music and Casper Nyovest were down at Sun City, belling it out for the undisputed Celebrity Boxing Championship. It was an incredible fight that saw Nak Music walk away with that champion. Do you think he deserved to walk away with that belt? Let me know in the comments. It is at loveLifeNGO, hashtag The Purple Couch. Time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. And we're back and taking over. This is still The Purple Couch with me, Impinchi Thabile TTO, and it's time for us to get into Word on the Street, where I ask you a question and you give me a response on all our social media platforms. And this month's question is, seeing as this month is Freedom Month, I want to find out from you, what is that one thing that you wish was free in South Africa? I know the one thing that I wish was free was data, because if data was free, we'd have more people coming to watch The Purple Couch. So what is that one thing that you wish was free in South Africa? Let me know on all our social media platforms. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, hashtag The Purple Couch.
Hi everyone, my name is Portia Klassen and I'm from the Orange Farm loveLife Youth Center based at Extension 6A in Orange Farm. I'm a groundbreaker, a health groundbreaker. The one thing that I wish was free in South Africa is food, guys. Food is a necessity, we all need it. And the fact that other people have to go to bed without having something to have eaten is a real problem in South Africa. We might not know about it because we always wear smiles on our face. But if food was free, I feel like everybody would be happy and we wouldn't have to worry about the standard of living in South Africa.
So the one thing that I would like to be free was education. Because how many of us la singenile kuma university and then we get loans, which is food. If education was free, kube sonke manje singama doctor, maybe engineers, so that we can all provide our family with.
I really hope data was free in South Africa, because many students as well as young youth in South Africa, they do not have access to data, which they do not get access to certain things like know about affairs that are happening around the country.
One thing I wish was free in South Africa was sanitary pads, because I feel like girls do not choose to go on their periods, and not having sanitary pads can stop you from getting by your day or doing things that you do normally when you're not on your period. So if sanitary pads were to be free, then life would be better.
We're back and still taking over. This is The Purple Couch. I'm your host, Thabile TTO. And unfortunately, we couldn't get Upinki on The Purple Couch because she is such a busy woman. But I think that this is such an incredible conversation that I'm going to have with her. And I wanted to share it with you guys, especially because it is, of course, Freedom Month. Pinky, how are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, Thabile. I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm so excited to have you on The Purple Couch. I know that we digitally, let's say this is digitally.
You were e-meeting.
Yeah, we're e-meeting on The Purple Couch. Now, Binky, you do so much. You're an attorney, you're a businesswoman, but you're also a hustler. Tell me about all the work that you do and how you got to doing all these incredible things that you're now doing.
Okay. So Thabile, the attorney part was purely just me securing some sort of basis, for me to actually do the things that I wanted. I somewhat always knew in varsity, I've got big dreams, but I also have a reality to look at before I go venture out to these big dreams. And with the choice to become an attorney, I've just always been a vocal. I always wanted to show if something is wrong, I actually have scenarios I could share with you from primary up until, or maybe even before primary school, where somehow I was always a voice of reason or a voice of, no, this is wrong. So I somewhat did know that my core being is being an attorney, I'll always be someone who's willing to speak up or do something about a situation. And based on that, the business just stemmed out of it. It gave room for me to establish other things, particularly because with the LLB background, you tap into any industry, whether it's music, it's art, it's fashion. There's no way that you won't need law, whether it's a contract, whether it's you negotiating your money, whether it's you just telling someone, or hey, please respect me because I actually know what I'm doing, It always gives you just that extra backing to push your other means of making progress.
Yeah.
So for my hustling part, the LLB was the main basis to birth whatever could come out from my passions.
Yeah. Now, you're definitely no stranger to loveLife because we had you a few weeks back on Umsebenzi Wethu where you collaborated with other young people and you were basically sharing, some of the things that you've learned in the journey of being a hustler and in attaining the things that you have now. People think that, when you are teaching, you don't really learn anything or get anything back yourself. Besides teaching and giving the knowledge, what would you say you learned from the group of young people that you were working with?
Goodness, the loveLife group is amazing.
Yeah.
I think, wow, there should be bigger platforms where the group speaks, because I particularly remember, I just forgot her name. It's either Khomozo or I forgot the name, but I remember that she spoke about access. We were talking about clinics and the importance of South Africans having access to good quality healthcare. And she elaborated on access in a way that I'd never thought about before. She spoke about how access goes beyond whether we are to a quality healthcare service, it goes beyond your visit to the clinic. It goes as far as to some decisions that you make, just because you're lacking in a certain part of your life, let's say financially you're lacking.
Yeah.
You are more prone to make decisions that you wouldn't have made if you were not lacking financially.
If you were not in that position, yeah.
And she elaborated about sexual freedom, how many people really have sexual freedom. And that's been on my mind since. It had me even questioning some decisions I've made. From such circumstances that where you bought a man, what if my situation was ideal? What decisions would I have made if I had to go back? So that stayed with me.
And I think also, with the more work that you do with loveLife as an adult, you think that you know it all, and you think that you're in a position where you're like, I know I can go to that clinic, or I know I can, until you actually meet someone who's younger than you and who is actually taking, loveLife seriously, and, all that we are trying to teach young people. And you're like, damn, I actually don't know anything myself, and particularly for you, with all the work that you do, especially being in the position that you're in, where young people look up to you and young people, treat you as their role model, what would you say is maybe the one or two things that you carry and are always telling young people when trying to empower them and the things that they are trying to get involved in?
The main thing that I carry is being myself. And I know that sounds cliche, and it sounds like I'm on Miss Universe, I would like to advocate for everyone to be, no. It took me, I'm 29, and it took me, I don't want to say 29 years, but it took me a long time of this 29 years for me to get to this point where I understand my power with being authentic, with being the real me. And I negotiate now from that position. I don't front anymore. I don't have to buy face. I come as I am. I come with my issues. I come with my baggage. And I lead with honesty. You know, it's been leading with honesty, leading with my true self. Because the things that I've birthed when I've done that have been the most authentic. They've been the most life-changing. I'll mention the clients that we've managed to source. Huge clients that if you were to tell me a year ago, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been like, Thabile, but my circumstances are saying something else, you know?
And this and this and that,
Yes. So that would be the first thing. The second one, this is also going to sound like Kyalijuta, but I strongly believe in fake it till you make it. I know that might sound like somewhere else. I actually have this book. I won't show the name of the book, but it's one of the rules that pop up in this book. So I got this book from my former boss. She didn't know that I'd resign after blessing me with this book.
I think I also have that book.
You have this book?
If it's the book, yes.
Hey, this is a book.
This is a book. Yeah.
So the rule is fake it till you make it, and they talk about how the difference between men and women. Men lead, a man could have a matric certificate, but he'll move around like a PhD. As a woman, you have so much self-doubt, but I got this experience. I've stopped that. I lead with what I have. Coming back to the first point. So even if you don't have it, somewhere, you know, you have the knack to push for it. I'm sure one of the things that you know you want to do, and when you're able to think yourself out of them. You can say now, I want to be what, you can list 500,000 things that can make you think yourself out of it. But the main thing is don't even entertain those 500 unless they are core things to entertain that will lead you to where you're going. Don't entertain them. Just focus on getting here and fake it. If there's no confidence, fake it. If there's no support from your family, fake it. If there's no find something it'll push to get where you're going. And
because also as young people, I think most of the ideas that we have come from our minds. So if you are not creating from a place of positivity and you go to the next person and you tell them that, yo, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to put together, and that person's like, Pinky, you're not going to make it. Already, imagine in your mind, you've already told yourself that you won't be able to make it. Now you've told this next person who's now also, you know, kind of retweeted and accepted that you're not going to make it. You're not going to really want to push.
And people
really do project,
When now, like, your brilliant idea, you're asking someone who's just going to project and push you out of that thought process, you know? So it's also important to have a circle of people, especially for young people, ne? It's so easy to lose that knack to do something, okay? I remember when I was in high school, I thought I was going to change the world. Then I got to working, and then life humbled me. Like I saw.
But they say hold on to that happiness. They say hold on to that.
Hold on. Hold on. And
it.
I'm glad that I've managed to do this shift. It doesn't happen for everyone. And that's where it comes back again, or the circle that you keep must be able to still put Thabile back where he wants to go. If Thabile said that you're hosting this, the next thing you're going to have your own show. It's going to be on Oprah's network or whatever. We must be there to push your Thabile. We talk about 1, 2, 3. What are you doing? You know, it mustn't just be the partying, the hey friend, we had some champagne in. That must be part of it. Because you also need the motivation. You need the motivation of why are you doing this, you know? You need that circle that's going to be like, okay, guys, let's go pop champagne. You must come back and be like, yo, okay, so we like spending this amount. Let's do what so we can live that life. So
thinking. Sure. Now we know that we live in a country that has got, you know, one of the highest unemployment rates, and it seems to be a problem that is getting worse and worse and worse. Can we speak a little bit about the impact of unemployment on, you know, the sexual and reproductive health rights of young women and men in the country? And what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts. It goes back to what I said to you about one of the groundbreakers, the point that she mentioned about access. Ne? It got me thinking, Hore, how much freedom do we really have? You know, I think it's very easy to think, Hore, because you look a certain way or you get certain benefits that you have better. Mare, how many people look back to think, if vele neknali a job that gives me a salary and I could fully support myself and actually go beyond the support, like do whatever that whatever fun activities, you know, that would put me together as a person. If you can't fund that, only one, and now you have to like go source elsewhere or accept help from elsewhere, it does get you thinking.
Support, yeah.
Yeah, it does get you thinking, would you have even gone there if you know, the things that excite you about Moyante Nkapa, the things that you need, it's not just the necessities, it's also just wants. You know, people think, or people just want bread or tea or in just to get you. They forget that we're also human beings. You also want to go out. You also want to friends. You also want to be on social media. You want to tweet. You want to watch the video that somebody posted. But if you can't afford
and
the
guess
data,
what, Binky? There's nothing wrong with wanting those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting those things.
There's nothing wrong. Even I strive. Look for more. You know, have a hunger to go to Dubai or start a business. You know? It might not make sense. You might not even have a passport, and then your next step will be to go Google how to start my own business there or find whoever is to give you advice. But my main push or my advice to not just the youth, to literally everyone, but mainly the youth is Kenya Matapa. Just put in the effort. It's gonna eventually make sense. There's no way. Like, hard work doesn't betray. Hard work, you can cry when you fail something because our Kenya Matapa, you know. But proper hard work has a point where now it's opa. And
proper hard work does not have immediate results. Like,
it doesn't.
Also, it's like the more that you work on your passion, the more that you work on the thing that you want to see happen in your life, the better. Even like if you have been pushing something for 3 years, you'll even see why you didn't get it the first year, why you didn't get it the second year, why you didn't get it the third year, and maybe why you're still pushing. So I think, like you're saying, proper hard work does not have immediate results. So you just need to keep working at it and keep getting better and keep getting better. And I'll thinking with all the things that you do, what is your biggest dream? What is your biggest dream for yourself? What is the biggest dream for young people in the country? What is the bigger dream for the world?
This does sound like a Miss Universe question. Please give me the mic. Let's start with the dream for the universe.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound cliche again, but I do wish for world peace.
World peace.
I really do.
Honestly, I think now more than ever. Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, I'm sure everybody's tired of fighting. You know, I sometimes even think about like Ukraine and Russia, and I'm just like, someone I can do like Putin. You know, we just really need to get to a point where there's peace or there's a way for us to work together, because already we're facing so many issues. We're already facing so many issues, internal issues, financial issues, instabilities. So that would be my
issues. Like, there's just so much going on. Yeah.
Mental issues. And then an advice for the youth, let's bring it home, particularly the South African youth.
Yeah.
Our circumstances are dire. Most of us come from lack, from need. Yeah. And it's not going to change anytime soon. You know, we're going to be coming from that for quite some time. And the sooner one accepts that and understands that you are going to work extra hard, you know, like it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears, the better.
And the dream for Pinky?
For Pinky? Man, I just want to be more of myself now, hey? You know, the past 29 years I lived a life. I think I lived mainly on survival. Again, coming back to the things you've been through, you've just always been fighting through life. The point where I'm at now, I just want to be honest with myself and my life, and that honesty to flow into my businesses, into my everything that I do. I hope I lead with that honesty and with that authenticness. And then
shout out to you, Pinky. And you definitely will. You're doing so much for other people. it's only right that you receive all that back in. And where can people get a hold of you if they maybe want to get some legal advice, if they want to get, if they just want to get in touch with you, where can people get a hold of you on the social streets?
Perfect. So in terms of getting a hold of me, my name is Pinky Mokemane. You can go on to I'm actually quite accessible. So it's either Instagram, it's your Twitter, there's Facebook, there's also my contact number, which I'm not too sure if I should give it, but you know what? Let's give it a go. Can we give it?
Okay. This is gonna live forever, Pinky. So I'm gonna be calling you for my legal matters.
Oh, you know what?
I need it too.
Let's do this. Let's monitor this, ne? If there's anyone that needs to contact me, if it's in terms of legal advice, I would advise them to seek the closest. Don't go as fast as me. Look into your vicinity on who can you contact. But if it's something really dire that requires Naya specifically, then they can contact you guys, and you can pass on the message to me, and I'm happy to assist where I can.
So definitely get a hold of Pinky on her social media. I'm definitely going to be hitting up with my legal matters, and I hope Pinky's going to help me out. Shout out to Pinky. And Pinky continues to do all the incredible things that you're doing in the world. I think it's so lovely to chat to a young person that is still making their way up, but is almost still putting the rope down and pulling other people up as they go up themselves. So we're truly, truly inspired, and keep taking over the world.
Thabile, all the best. You're an amazing host, so I wish you all the best with this, hey?
Thank you so much. That was, of course, Upinki, who's a businesswoman and an attorney, who is today's exclusive interview. And we're back and taking over. You are still tuned into the Purple Couch with me, Impinchenu, Thabile TTO. And it's time for us to get into our Why Biz interview for today. And I am so excited to be hanging out with a creative designer, a founder, a fashion designer, and no stranger to loveLife. He goes by the name of Lucky Makume. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today, Lucky? I'm amazing. Thank you so much for coming through to the show. You're doing so many incredible things. Chat to me about who Lucky is and how Lucky has began doing all the incredible things that he's now doing.
Oh yeah, okay. So hey, that's a hot one. The first one and the hot one, but like he's a designer, creative, as you've said, and I'm an all-rounder. I don't like boxing myself into one place, but I'm inspired by everything that I see every day, and making clothes was like from my mom's, uncles, and all. So I used to see how they dress and all. That inspired me to get into fashion. I was a dancer back in the day. I'm into music, so it's just too much. That's why I'm saying I'm a simple guy, but inspired by life in general.
Now, with all these things that you said you do, being a kid growing up in this world and trying to navigate your way around it, how would you say then you chose, Guti, okay, this is what Lucky is passionate in and this is what I'm going to pursue?
Yeah, if it doesn't make you sleep, then that's a hit. So if I would go crazy over something for days and I'm doing this, let's say I'm a dancer right now, and then but even with my crew and everything, I'm always trying to bring fashion fashion. So I took time and just took a step back and I was like, okay, what do I want? So it was really simple because I loved it from way back.
Now, you're no stranger to loveLife. You've done some incredible work with loveLife. How did you begin working with this phenomenal brand?
So with loveLife, I started as a volunteer in Orange Farm. So I went there for volunteering because after school there was nothing that I was doing, and I was like, okay, let me, pull up at loveLife. And then I went there. When I got there, I did radio. I was a radio presenter.
Really?
I've been doing things. It's been crazy. So and from there I got into the arts because obviously I was a dancer. It was easy for me to just
build a bridge and connect the two.
And then after a year, there was a groundBREAKER. It was a leadership post, groundBREAKER thing, and then I applied for it, and then I got it. And I applied for two. I applied for radio and then for arts. but they took me for arts because already I had like events there and all. So
I also hear you got to travel to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Tell me about
yeah,
your trip
in
in
the
Amsterdam,
Netherlands.
what you were doing and what you took away from that trip.
okay, cool. I think even that trip also played a huge role into my business and me getting into fashion because now I was after being a groundbreaker. I think it was 2014 when I got the offer, and then it wasn't even I had to apply though. And then they called me for an interview. I went to the interview, and then before I got home, already my mom knows I'm leaving. I'm like, she's crying, you know. And I'm like, okay, cool. I went. It took I think 2 months but we went there for 3 months. So it was like 2 months for preparations, or it was a month. I can't. So when I got there, what we were doing, it was like same thing I was doing as loveLife. It was youth, like just interacting with the youth about our daily. At loveLife, it was HIV and AIDS, and that side, the Dance for Life had like HIV and AIDS campaign also, but in a cooler way also, because now you get to just facilitate it while through dance and all. And then from that side, like I got to see that things are different from SA. It was hard for me as a dancer. It was hard, but when you get that side and you see what dancers do with their maybe careers, and with us, it's like, oh, I'm still in the hood. I'm trying to make it. I'm still dancing behind the scenes, but that side is like complete shows maybe for dancers. There's a dancer who's famous like a musician and all. But all in all, it got me, I opened my mind when I got there, because now I saw how people took business so serious, and it was what was important was like it was the youth and like the young people of that country. It was so amazing. It was an experience of some sort, but also I take it like it was a varsity type of thing.
Because it's not every day that you get to go
yeah.
to Amsterdam, really connect with people who are like-minded who do the things that you're doing. Now, you touched on something so important, especially with the time that you spent in Amsterdam. You said you guys were, educating each other and other people about HIV and, sexual health and sexual education. How important is it for us to continue to spread and speak about sexual education and make sure that the other youth that is coming after us knows more than we do, and ultimately they are able to function in a world where, they don't need to deal with, HIV and STIs, but they know what they're fully getting themselves into.
I always ask people this. How is it simple for you to teach your kid how to play soccer while they're still young, but you can't even sit with them and say, this is 1, 2, 3, and these are boys, these are girls. So if we could make just break the boundary of us not talking about some other things, because in where I'm from, everything is like hard when you try to talk about
you can't talk about sex, you can't talk about your feelings,
so it's really sad for us, even like I think it started before us. I don't know when, but it's you're gonna start talking about that when you like 17, 16 at school. So
and at that time there are already young people who are already having sex. So
and
the more that you know.
Exactly. So I think it's gonna be simple if ever we just try to engage about such things, like just make it a norm talking about them, because it's like even the TV shows, they try to bring us TV shows. But your mom, go to sleep. You can't, so they try so hard to give us. So if we could make it a norm of like just talking about these issues and just teaching the youngins.
Now, like, in your opinion, do you think that being unemployed has any impact on one's mental health? And can it affect the way that someone sees themselves? Can it, add to someone's depression or sadness, being unemployed?
Yeah, it does. It does, but sometimes I always tell people like it's not about being unemployed and just being at your corner sad and like I started my thing. I was unemployed for such a long time. I've never worked for a company, like you gotta be here at 9, you gotta be. I always worked for a month or 2 weeks, and then like nah. It's because it's because I really feel like we need to find ways to better ourselves every day, because now you could be depressed because you can't find. There's so much beauty in the world, like there's so much. Too many things that you can do, but all in all, there's like unemployment brings depression, anxiety, and people like we see that, like we see that every day. People change, like yo, say that's oh boy, but like it's really a depression thing. I believe so.
Now, this is Why Biz, and we'd love to, shine a light and celebrate young entrepreneurs like yourself. You've got an incredible streetwear brand. Tell me more about it and how you started with it.
Well, my brand is Rain Streetwear. Why Rain? It was so simple, but not simple coming with the brand, because I had a trip to Free State, and I think it was 2016. It was that time. There was drought in SA, no rain, nothing, and I never thought rain is this important to the people. When I went that side, it's where my mom grew, in Makaya. And then we went there to the villages, and then we got, I think it's her uncle, but to me, it's like my granddad or grand, I don't know.
Even
like,
the father,
So it's like, people were everywhere where we were. So it was like, can you help us pray for rain? And I was like, where I'm from, people don't.
Pray for rain,
people pray for clothes. People like, think about clothes, people think about being nice, vibing and all. So it only gonna make sense to me. And I was on a process of like just starting my own brand. So I was like, it hit me deep, because now there's people who we do like need rain that much. But I didn't know it was that. It was like that. Everyone was like, every conversation I had, it was like,
it would lead up
rain,
to
rain. And I was like, rain brings life to the people. So how am I going to bring life to the streets? It was so simple. So my clothes is rain. I'm just bringing life to the people.
Sure. Big shout out to you, Lucky. We are seeing the incredible things that you're doing in the world. I think what is so dope is that this is a young person who really took a hold of the opportunities that they are around them. And shout out to brands like loveLife for, adding on to your success. And, who knows where you're going to be if you hadn't even ran into loveLife.
Because it has that shaping thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie. Everybody who I went with there and that went before me, when I get to see them, it's always, I'm doing this or I'm here. I love that.
Sure. Where can people get a hold of you on the social street?
Social media, it's like Himakume, simple as that. But with the brand, it's Rain Streetwear. Insta and Facebook, Rain Streetwear. On Insta, it's one word. On Facebook, it's Rain, obviously. Streetwear. The way we parang a
Sure, man. And this is, of course, Why Biz. Big shout out to you. Continue to take over. Thank you. We'll be back, guys. And you still tune in to The Purple Couch with me, your host, Thabile TTO, and it's time for us to get active. We're going to take a look back at all that went down at the National School Sports Championship in Gauteng. As you know that in a previous episode, I showed you all that went down when it was in Bloemfontein. It's time for us to take a look at what went down when it hit the City of Gold.
We are at the National School Sport Championships. Every child must do their best.
If ever then they achieve anything here, it's only the beginning.
I really have to work harder because my aim is to go further than this. So this reminds me that I have to keep on working every day.
Doesn't matter if you come last or first, just swim.
In third place with 1,341.5 points, KwaZulu-Natal. In second place with 1,524 points, Western Cape. And in first place with 2,091 points, Gauteng Schools Accredited.
And we're back and taking over. You are still tuned into the Purple Couch with me, your host, Thabile TTO, and it's time for us to get into Fashion Insider. And today I'm so excited to be joined by a fashion designer, a creative, a stylist, and the founder of Happyville. He goes by the name of Lebo Serame. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
How are you doing today, Lebo?
I'm chilling, as always.
You are always busy. You're doing so many incredible things in the country. Let's start with Happyville. When did you found this incredible brand that is taking over the country?
I founded the brand in 2017. With a friend of mine, Kolamda. And eventually, unfortunately, he parted ways with me, but I just continued on with the business because it's the passion. It's really the passion, you know? Yeah, so 2017.
And your love for making clothes or for just fashion designing, where would you say it began for you?
It began in high school for me because it was a thing of CV's Day. I just have to stand out, you know? So I asked my mom to make me my first tee because she could sew. So I asked her to make my first tee. We bought fabric from Plaza, and from there it's just been.
Now, from going from high school to 2017, where you now founded the brand, did you maybe work in any other fashion house or for any other fashion designer and maybe gotten your first insight as to what owning a brand could look like?
No, actually. I didn't even study fashion, actually. It was more of a thing of at home, they can sew. I asked them to teach me, they wouldn't, but the machines were there, the patterns were there, self-taught. I was like, you know what, let me just take it from here. They're not gonna help me, so I'll just do it myself.
And I ask you this question because, we're living in a country where, a lot of young people are unemployed and a lot of young people are looking for opportunities to empower themselves and empower the skills that they ultimately want to make money out of, and how would you say maybe being unemployed in that time and maybe not having a full-time job to sustain your dream and what your passion is now, how would you say maybe being unemployed impacted your mental health, if it did impact it in any way?
My dreams were very big when I left high school. You know, I had big dreams. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. But once I left high school and saw the reality of unemployment, it was very humbling, I won't lie. But at the same time, it was also, you start to not believe in some stuff, you lose motivation, But once I found something that I am passionate about, it became easier, you know what I'm saying? It became much more easier. It was like, okay, cool. This is it. And I'm going to have to make it work somehow,
And where would you say, for you as a designer, as a creative, as a stylist, as a founder of a brand, where would you say the turning point was for you?
Really, the turning point was when I started. The first day I took that initiative to start, that was the real turning point, because for years I had been procrastinating. I want to start a brand. You know how people are I want to. But for me, the real turning point was when I took that initiative and said, you know what, let me just start this brand and actually see how it goes. That was the real.
There may be a young person at home who's chilling and is watching the show and is inspired by the work that you're doing. But there may also be a young person who is also just starting out with their own brand and does not know how to, maneuver and basically navigate their way around this space, this fashion space of styling people and doing the work that you do. How would you say one should navigate and carry themselves in this space? Because it's very easy to lose yourself. You end up creating what is trending and not truly what you want to create. So how does one navigate themselves in this space?
in this space, I'd really suggest you look for what's missing. What's missing, find a story, find something that you can stick by. Even when things are shifting and trending and in and out of trends, find something that you want to do and can stick by that, you know what I'm saying? And stick to that one thing. Just try to be different as well.
Now you're on Fashion Insider and you're doing incredible things with Happyville. You guys just did an incredible collaboration with Stimroll. Let us know a little bit more about that. How did that came about?
Stimroll came about, so it's a whole.
How did you and the brand collaborate together?
So basically they hit me up in January. It was a time where things were not going so well. I was kind of down and I was like, they hit me up and were like, yo, we want to collaborate. We're thinking of having like this and that, and we're gonna have a new package. We're having a new packaging, so we're trying to find ways in which we can present it and want you to make a collection for this new packaging. You know what I'm saying? So they hit me up. It was a back and forth for like 2 months of like, okay, how are we gonna do this, that, we bounce ideas and everything from the shoot concept to the fabrics to the designs to whether it's gonna be menswear, women's wear, who's gonna be the model, who's gonna be the muse. Like all that was happening in 2 months, and it was just a very crazy 2 months. It was hectic. It was hectic.
And what goes through your mind? You started this brand in 2017 and it's now 2022 and you're already collaborating with incredible brands like Stimroll. What goes through your mind when you see a billboard or when you see it popping up on Instagram or, on the social platforms?
That anything is possible. If you really manifestations are real. Like when you manifest these things, they come to life. So it's really, anything's possible. That's what comes to mind whenever I see that collab and like, yo, we did that because we manifested that.
And what would be maybe your top 3 tips for an entrepreneur who wants to pursue a career in fashion, design, and creativity?
Just start, firstly. Stay focused. Stay like this journey is not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. You're not gonna find out today what your main, what your style is in design. You have to trial and error throughout, You'll have to trial and error as the journey goes. And eventually you'll find your niche, you'll find what your style is, and then just ride that wave, stand by it and just that's yours.
And where can people get a hold of you on the social platform?
It's Happyville _ on Instagram. And then on Twitter, it's Happyville _ and then I'm Lebo Serame on Instagram and on Twitter.
We absolutely love the work that you're doing. We love the clothes. And keep inspiring young people like myself. I want to wear Happyville. I want to see the brand going global and doing incredible things. So shout out to you. It's about to take a quick break. We'll be back. This is the Purple Couch with me, TTO. And we've come to the end of today's episode. A big shout out to you for tuning into the show. A big shout out to my guests for coming through and taking over with me and sharing some of the incredible things that they are doing in their careers. I'm absolutely inspired. A big shout out to the National Department of Health and of course the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture for making it all possible. Continue to connect with us across all our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is at loveLifeNGO, #ThePurpleCouch. I'm your host, Thabile TTO, and this has been a takeover. Until the next episode, keep taking over. Bye, guys.